Hello, welcome back to PHI and PPE with Amy Wood and Deanna Otts Whitfield. And we both look like we're very goth today. We're
Very black.
chic,
Very
chic. That's what we're
black.
gonna go with. We're
Yeah.
wearing
It's
black.
slimming. It's slimming. Black is slimming.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
That's what I've heard too. That's what my mom told me. And mom's always right.
Mine always told me Spanx make you slimmer.
Oh yeah, well, I figured that one out on myself. So,
Well, it's been kind of a wild start to 2026,
yeah,
and there's a lot of things going on, not just in the political atmosphere or just, the general tone of everything seems kind of angsty.
it does.
And it's a lovely time to just kind of take a moment and breathe.
Mm,
And I thought maybe today we'd talk about resilience and
mm.
redundancy.
I think that's great because it's going to apply to a lot of different situations.
Mhm. Not just the chaos that's going on right now, but we can't control a lot of these things. And I mean, case in point, it's freezing cold in the Midwest where we both are.
Yes.
And my pipes froze in my master bath.
Oh,
And so fortunately, I have other bathrooms and I have a kitchen sink and I have options,
mm-hmm.
but I wasn't going in my kids' bathroom. It was disgusting. They're old enough. I'm not cleaning it anymore. But
No,
it's just kind of got me thinking, we as dental professionals, we're not well equipped. And 2020 really kind of woke us up to realize like we don't prepare for the unknown as well as we probably should.
that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. I'm just going to go off on a little spin. I was doing some research last night for a presentation that I had to restart over because I messed up on it and it was a whole thing. So here we are
Same.
talking about resilience. But I did want to reference that some of the biggest OSHA violations are not having plans or policies in place at your office.
Same for HIPAA. It's all the
Yeah.
paperwork.
hmm
Yeah.
It's
And
all paperwork and just, not knowing and being aware that you need these policies that apply to your specific dental setting, whatever the case may be, for whatever situation. It's really important, and your staff need to be aware of it too.
well, and I think planning for certain situations, like I can't tell you the number of offices that have said, "Oh yeah, I have a friend. I know other doctors that have gotten ransomware." And my first question every time is, "Well, have you made a plan or practiced, rehearsed?" I mean, you make a plan for needle stick exposure, you make a plan for medical emergency in the office.
hmm
Like you make plans for all these other things, but this is not a new threat and we're not making plans for it.
Right.
We're not practicing it. I mean, you do
Right.
your basic life support training every 2 years because the dental board says you have to get your
hmm
license. Of course, that's the main reason, but it's also
Well,
so
sure.
you know what to do when
But
you're panicked.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And being the business owner, yes, having a plan in place is paramount, but your staff members also have to know what that plan is.
Mhm.
If you had to leave your building for an emergency, say there's a fire, do your staff members know where to go? Do you know where to meet up? What if they get in their car and leave and you think that they're still left in the building? Like just, yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Let's talk about some resilience.
Yeah. I think of that episode of Friends where they're trying to move the couch up the stairs and Ross is yelling, pivot!
Pivot, pivot, pivot. Yes.
And I hate that
So
word.
true.
I,
You
I,
do?
oh, I hate that word. That word implies that we have to make a hard turn and go
Mm,
do something else. And it's really not. It's more of you have to kind of like turn a boat at the same
mm,
time. And so it doesn't
okay.
happen right away. And you can't just shift gears and go. You have to take your existing business and your protocols and your operations, and you have to shift it, but you can't do it all at once. So
Right.
the word pivot for me, like, it's not the right term. That's for
Is
me.
that a trigger word?
No, I think it's the wrong word choice.
Sure. No, I get it because uh, I'm just gonna liken it to when I was marching. In the military, you do an about face. You turn around and you go the opposite direction. Well, when you're marching, then, I forgot what I was gonna say.
You
Just
have a
edit that.
momentum. No, I get
Yeah.
it. Like you have a
Yes.
momentum, you have to like stop on a dime.
Right. Well, when you're in formation, you can't just about face. You'll run into everyone behind you unless they're about facing. So you turn to the right or you turn to the left so that the formation is always going in the same direction.
Yeah. And I think with employee turnover at its highest it's ever been in dentistry, it's really important that we make sure every team member knows that and
Right,
that these plans are documented and rehearsed.
right.
So, make a plan. I'm actually putting together a whole workshop for Chicago Midwinter. My first time speaking. Yay! I'm so excited. Um, took me a long time to get there,
I love that.
but you'll get there too. And um, yeah, I'm doing some interesting disaster drills and realizing that as I'm talking even to our clients, some of these things they haven't practiced, or they're like, "Oh, I didn't even think of that."
Hmm.
So it's necessary, and I kind of throw back to 2017. I was in the wine country wildfires in Northern California. And well, my property was not damaged or irreplaceable or anything. We did evacuate. We did panic.
Hmm.
I fell into an open dishwasher and tore my rotator cuff. I have another family member that took a hair scrunchie and a dog leash, but forgot the dog and had to go back. We heard crazy stories of things like that, but when it happened again the following year, we were prepared. We had lead time. We didn't have, like, we were still like anxious and on
Hmm.
edge, and the adrenaline was pumping, but we had a plan. And so when it happened again the third year, we're like, ugh, okay, fine. And so we planned way, way ahead, and we had a written plan on, we have a 1 minute to evacuate list.
Hmm.
We had a 5 minutes to evacuate list, and we had a 1 hour or more list. And we practiced it as a family and in our office. So it's kind of crazy that we have to think about doing things like that.
Hmm.
We have to add things like civil unrest as a thing to our offices now. Workplace violence
Workplace
is a
violence.
thing.
Hmm.
Medical emergencies, overdoses. People are delightful right now. And I mean that in the most sarcastic way. We
Aren't
just,
we, aren't we talking about the most wonderful, exciting things?
we're still doing it with a smile, so I think there's still some hope.
There you go. There
Yeah,
you go. Yeah, there's a lot of hope. There's
yeah.
a lot of hope.
But in
So
the
I
meantime,
remember when I was practicing in an office down in Texas, I had a needle stick injury, and I went and told my employer, and his response was to get a cavi wipe and just wipe the wound away. And to be honest, I didn't know any better. I knew that that was not the right response, but I didn't know anything about OSHA's bloodborne pathogens exposure control plan. And I know that that office, looking back now, did not have one. And probably the office manager and the business owner was not willing to pay to send me to go get tested.
yeah.
So, this is just a message. If you are unaware of what your exposure control plan requirements are, reach out to us. We'll be happy to walk you through it. And as far as like post-exposure clinics and testing goes, 99.9% of the time, the hospital does not accept occupational injuries. They do not have those lab tests on hand at the emergency department.
Mhm.
You're going to need to go to probably an urgent care clinic of some sort that does occupational injury testing.
Mhm.
Once again, we'll be more than happy to help you out with that. But, you don't know what you don't know. And hopefully, someone can learn something from listening to this and realize that they're missing something and want to make a plan to correct it, put a policy in place, and make sure that their staff are safe.
Now we're off our soapbox. In the meantime, stay safe, stay compliant, and mind your PPEs and PHIs.
Love it.
Thank you for joining us. For more information, please go to www.copperpennyconsulting.com. Bye.